Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, as that saying goes, if it weren't for double standards, the left wouldn't have standards at all. Well, you know what? In the current news cycle, with everything happening, I've been thinking a whole lot about standards, this concept of standards. And I've really come to the conclusion I keep thinking about this same line, and it's that societies fall apart when standards are replaced with symbolism, with wokeism, with empty platitudes and performative gesture. When institutions stop prioritizing merit, character, and competence, and instead they focus on tokenism, wokeism, DEI, identity, empty presentation, well, what do you think follows? It's corruption that follows every single time because you've corrupted the basic standards that gatekeep bad from entering. And frankly, in history, we've seen this. It's probably one of the greatest lessons of history. The moment you abandon accountability for feel-good ideology, well, you create the exact environment when incompetence, fraud, and outright evil can then thrive unchecked. And that, my friends, is exactly what we are seeing across the Democrat world. And I got the perfect example to show you guys, this coming out of Minnesota. Tim Walz's shining beacon of wokeism, his leftist utopia. Yeah, it's obviously anything but. The only question you can ask yourself is, what the hell is happening in Minnesota? That's going to make a whole lot of sense in like 2 seconds here. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so I laid down the context there, or at least my thesis point. Now here's an absolutely insane story that I think you'll instantly be able to make the connection.
Wilson Tindy, a Kenyan national, was convicted of sexually assaulting a sleeping woman in the Twin Cities after breaking into her home. Tindy pled guilty to the crime 9 years ago. A judge ordered his removal from the United States. But a federal judge ultimately ruled that Tindy's removal was not warranted. Tindy spent 18 months in ICE custody and then landed taxpayer-funded positions at 2 separate Minnesota state agencies. After our reports, Tindy's status has changed.
We really have to go through, work with our legal team to make sure that the conviction would qualify for, removability from the U.S. So it did take us kind of a long time and a lot of research with help from our legal team, who are amazing. We did come up with a immigration charge because of his criminality. We do have, a warrant of arrest for him today. So, just praying all goes well and everyone remains safe during the arrest.
So this isn't a random pickup on the street today like the media likes to portray?
Right. Yep. It is not. Lots of hours went into this case.
ICE officers parked blocks away to wait for the right moment to move in.
He was heading towards his apartment.
Within minutes, they're on the move.
They got lights and sirens on right now.
Walking up to the townhouse, Tindy is already in handcuffs in his garage next to his BMW.
So an illegal migrant Kenyan national sex offender, yes, you heard that right, a convicted sex offender living in the United States on an expired visa, someone who probably should have been deported years ago, somehow instead ends up being hired as a director at the Minnesota Department of Education. What the frickin' hell is going on? I mean, at this point, this is beyond incompetence. This is criminal negligence. A man who should have been on a plane back to Nairobi is instead elevated into a position of influence in the Democrat public education system in Minnesota. It's something that is unfathomable, unbelievable. But in today's day and age, in woke world 2025, it's not even that surprising. And far left Minnesota, Minneapolis, wherever the hell it happened, where Democrats run the show with their woke ideology and absolutely insane, delusional, naive agenda, it's not surprising at all. No, it feels more like the expected outcome of all the craziness we've had to endure over this woke revolution, cultural Marxist nonsense era. This is what happens when you strip away oversight and standards and replace it with cushy DEI hiring practices. No, it's not about qualifications. It's not about keeping the kids safe. It's not about teaching people well and having good academic outcomes. No, it's about checking boxes, identity boxes, signaling virtue. And now, this is the result. You get sex offenders with no legal right to even be in the country, sitting in cushy taxpayer-funded offices, making important decisions about education in a major American state. It's insane. And obviously, it's not happening in a vacuum. Minnesota, as of late, has been drowning in corruption scandals. We've been covering cases of election fraud, bureaucratic corruption, and it all stems from this naive leftist worldview. This is the logical extension of Democrat leadership, a system where standards don't exist. As long as you can wrap yourself around in that cushy banner, that warm blankie of representation, equity, and compassion, well, you could get away with anything. And again, I really want to focus on the larger picture here because it's bigger than the individual case. It's bigger than Minnesota. This is the Democrats' national agenda. Donald Trump has made it crystal clear. He is focused on deporting the worst violent criminals. And yet, what have we seen Democrats do? They've fought him tooth and nail at every step. We've seen the videos of Karens harassing ICE officers on the streets, screaming at them, "How dare you?
How dare you?"
Yelling at these federal officers for doing their jobs, and in case after case of these viral instances, they're standing there on the street corner defending illegal migrants with horrendous rap sheets. You got your liberal Karen on the street outraged at the idea that a murderer, an abuser, a repeat offender would be removed from the country, or even just an illegal migrant, because they're not thinking past their nose. They're thinking of all these cushy concepts, representation and borders being racist, demographic changes so we can move away from this racist, white supremacist world. And all the while, their naivete is enabling the worst actors to take advantage of the system that they are creating. It's Democrats' stupidity that's led to all of this. It's the naivete of the left. They actually believe now that every illegal is just some innocent victim. Every migrant's a future doctor. Every hire, as long as it's not a white cis male, oh well, that's proof of progress. As long as we're getting rid of white people in positions of power, the white cis males, well, society will instantly be better. When in reality, these policies are getting rid of key gatekeeping measures, proper vetting, and now they're putting predators in positions of power. And it just goes to show, the unintended consequences, how, in some cases, you can have good intentions, but your good intentions leads to ruin and pain. And that's not to say that Democrats have good intentions in what they do, because for the most part, everything's a power grab. Everything's some sort of twisted manipulation, always with these sociopathic, divisive, and manipulative narratives so they can grab power. But the people who support it, the people who vote for it, they think they're doing something good, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions, as they say, right? Well, that's exactly what this is. This is what happens when symbolism, virtue signaling, cushy slogans replace standards. This is what happens when Democrats prioritize DEI ideology over basic frickin' common sense and, most importantly, meritocracy. I mean, it's bad enough when incompetent hires run government office, but it's another level of insanity when you're literally elevating illegal migrant sex offenders to a leadership role in the Department of Education. That is not progress. That's not progressive. That, to me, is a signal of societal collapse. And if it can happen in Minnesota, it can happen anywhere. Anywhere the Democrats gain power, anywhere where they can implement their blueprint to protect criminals, to undermine immigration enforcement, to disguise corruption as equity, it's not sustainable, it's not sane, and frankly, I think we're slowly learning it sure as hell isn't safe. This is Clown World 2025. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.